My apologies for the late and great. I'm just playing with you. My apologies for it actually taking so long. I was supposed to start this shit a while ago. And I got caught up doing laundry. And then you know what else happened too? My see, this is why I don't game on PC, by the way. My fucking computer, Twitter, there's an app for Twitter. It needed to be uninstalled actually. So uninstalled and then reinstalled. And that's what I ended up doing. I ended up fixing that, man. So we're going to go in and we're going to start our show immediately. Don't forget, if you like this on YouTube, don't forget to follow it. Don't forget to subscribe to it. Don't forget all the good shit. So if you're wondering why my energy is kind of low, it's not really low. I'm just had to chill. I drink a little bit. I'm a little chill right now. It's a little chill. But if you don't know, I've been doing this lately. I've been making these podcasts, and usually I try to get people to go on there. So I always have like the Twitter space on deck. And this time I don't need to have the Twitter space on deck. Well, no, it is on deck. What the fuck am I talking about? My bad. It is on deck. But the thing is, right? I was trying to do like RP shit at one point, and I decided, I don't really need to do RP shit. What I do need to do is to kind of have these conversations, right? Kind of like almost like a vlog. I have these conversations all the time outside of work, you know, outside of YouTube, outside of all this stuff with my friends. And this is kind of to let you in on the secrets and conversations that I would typically have. So I had to make sure I had to be quiet here. See how the noise suppression actually works with this thing. So usually if I get some callers, I guess what you want to call it, they come in and they clip on the YouTube for some reason. So that's what that is. I actually am feeling really good right now in terms of, I guess, you know, alcohol, man. I don't feel good. I just feel super relaxed. That's what it is. But without further delay, we won't go right into it. And talk about self-control. Essentially, that's what this is. This is what this is all about. This is self-control. And if you notice how I kind of positioned it, right, is that in this day and age, men have a big problem with self-control when it comes to women. And women have a huge problem when it comes to attention. And those two things are what's unraveling society at large. It's both of our faults. You know what I mean? Typically when you talk about red P comment or red P content, you get a situation where it's always the woman's fault. You know what I'm saying? It's always the chick's fault about what's happening. It's the chicks that have these. Well, there's a lot of bad shit that people do in general, but there's a lot of red P content out there that states that women ain't shit, basically, and it's the guys are not at fault at all. You know what I'm saying? So if you know me, I don't really, I don't subscribe to that type of ideology at all. I feel like you're supposed to have self control over your, over your actions for sure. I do. I really, honestly do believe that in this particular case, in this life, right, and what we're dealing with a world where you have content of manosphere shit, you have content of men going their own way, and that the market of dating is complete trash. And I mean, it is, but it's complete trash. And women, they're not traditional, they're masculine and stuff like that, right? But I honestly believe that the problem, the solution comes from you. You know what I'm saying? That's what the big picture is. The solution should always come from you. You should never, ever expect something outside of your control to be the fault of it. You gotta always look inwards, you know what I mean, to see if you are the problem. You know what I mean? To see if you are the problem and to try to fix it, If you are indeed the problem, then you need to find something or do something to fix it, And there's too many men out here that are very bitter with women. Oh shit. Best adult. Oh, this is like, what is this? Oh, this is like AI. That's weird. And it's like 4 of them too. That's a new thing. That's a new thing. They need to get their shit together. If you're on YouTube, you'll see like some crazy ass shit that they talk about. So honestly, what I believe is that the problem needs to be, what needs to happen is all the men that are complaining about not having good outcomes when it comes to women, this needs to start with you. This is a you problem as well. You know what I mean? Yes, the market isn't that good. Yes, we understand that. It's not that great. It is absolutely trash for both ends, And I'll tell you, let's start with the men first, because we always hear shit that the women are doing, Men, because whatever reason, we're not even going to go into the reason. I'm just kind of explaining to you what's going on. Men are essentially like not men anymore. And I'm not talking about like gender roles or anything of that nature. Men are just like heterosexual men are literally weak as fuck. They're weak. They are not leaders. They are sensitive. They are feminine, and if anything in science, when you have an abundance of something, things are going to try to balance itself out. It's period. That's what's going to happen. These actions created the women that you are complaining about. And likewise, women say they can't find any men because they are the product of, what men are. So it's a Ouroboros. There's just a snake eating its tail. It's like there's no end to this shit. So where does it end? It ends with the guy. The guy needs to cut. He needs to have self-control, right? And this goes along. This is a thing where it's men need to have a lot of self-control. You need to have your head down and focused on your career, focused on your body, focused on you before you try to take on another relationship, period. That's just the net of it. You have to focus on yourself. You have to. There's too many people that are broken trying to get into these relationships, and the relationship with yourself is broken. You can't even help yourself, and you want to try to help other people out, and it goes both ways. And the same thing with women. You can see this a lot where a woman will sit there. We just had a situation with 50 Cent, right? And his son. I got into like a little altercation with a Twitter user. And I kept it as respectful as I possibly could. But if you really roll back the conversation, 50 Cent's son is actually, you know what? Before I even go into that one, I'm not even not just yet. Let me do this right. I'm going to read off to you the weakness of men, right? Because I want to kind of focus on that. And someone asked, why are men weak to women? And this gentleman here says, let me see what this looks like on YouTube. He says here, because, and this is just regular, I don't know what that is, it's just some online forum, right? So Drew Gonzalez says, because men are horny all the time. Women are stupidly beautiful. Honestly, it still baffles me how evolution designed the female body to such perfection. A woman can manipulate a man to do almost anything simply because she is a woman. Isn't this silly nonsense? I miss being asexual. That was way nicer than having to deal with the constant cravings for women. You crave for women all day, and it never goes away. Morning, girls, evening, girls, night, sleep girls. I laugh my ass off. He says, I even dream about them. A woman with deep cleavage and a perfect body will master most men with ease. Visually, women can control men like it's nothing. Honestly, the female body is perfection. It is a work of art. How can you not enjoy it? This is why you must control your visual fields. You will relapse into porn all over again. My visual fields are so sensitive, and any skin, it's automatically, I could detect it. I don't know. He kind of sounds like he has like a second language. I don't know why he's typing like that. It's strange. A man analyzes the female body like a neutral algorithm every time. You can't ignore your your biology, or you'll go crazy. So yes, women are a man's greatest weakness. Essentially, that's what we were kind of going over, and I feel like this is important as well. That's what's happening now, and if you didn't know, women, I mean, I think women already know. Let's keep it a stack, man. Women clearly know what's up. They clearly know what's up. But what a woman don't know, and I'll go into the 50 Cent story. A woman don't know that they are weak to receiving attention from men. They don't, for some reason, they don't get it. You know what I mean? They don't understand it because they fall right into the trap. This is why you have contradictions like women wanting to wear revealing clothes, knowing the outcome, and still wear revealing clothes and say that that's her choice. But what she's really wearing these clothes for is herself, to be noticed by anybody, but specifically a guy. I don't care how much cap a woman will tell you. What she's doing is mostly, because there's mostly heterosexual people on earth, they are trying to get the attention of a man. That's what they're really trying to do. And it's under the guise, because of social media, that this is their freedom to do whatever they want to do. And really, they're kind of being programmed to buy these certain clothes, and they get played and preyed upon, their biology, essentially, which is to be noticed by men. This happens in nature all the time. And men's weakness, men are very powerful beings, humans are, but men, they are very intelligent, they are very strong, you know what I mean? And they don't have like little things that kind of anchor their thought processes, like, emotion. But one thing that biology built into a man is a weakness into women, or for women. That's what's going on. And because of how social media has brainwashed everyone, man or woman, one of the things that you definitely need to do is to take your ass off of social media so frequently. That is a big problem for a lot of people in general. But more so women, because they like the attention and it's how they're wired. You know what I'm saying? But men have also fell into, well, I think it's, it's funny because when I look at it, it's very hard to not see a woman that is not fully clothed. I mean, that is fully clothed. Most women, most advertisements, most music videos, all the women are showing revealing clothes. So it's very hard for a man to avoid this. Because social media ain't our forte. It's a woman's forte, but not a man's forte. Call it unfortunate, call it whatever you want to call it, but that's the net of it. That's what's happening on the back end. Which is unfortunate, right? Because I feel like as humans, as we progress, we should be better than this. We should be smart enough to kind of tell what exactly is going on and be able to act accordingly. But here we are. We're stupid nowadays. So going to the 50 Cent, the 50 Cent story, right? Now he's trending because of his son. I had to read what I said, right? So people don't know about this story, and I didn't know for a while what was going on with this story. But it's not about them, right? It's more about the reaction. It's more about how broken the family unit is nowadays, and it creates terrible women and terrible men, right? 50 Cent is who he is, right? But one thing that, and I don't like 50 Cent personally, right? But one thing about 50 Cent, I will say, is that he tried to make it work with his baby's mother, right? And now his baby his baby is 16 or 26 years old, but he tried to make it work. She didn't want to be with him, and so he opted for child support, so he can just have a monetary number that is fixed, and he don't do shit else. Now, $67,000 or $100 was granted to his son. I think even currently, a month, and he's complaining. He has no job or anything, right? But he's complaining that it's not enough money, and he wants more, right? And it's not even about what his mom thinks or anything like that. The conversation is really boiled down to the comments about his story. I figure I have to kind of tell the comments because people are saying, oh, he should spend time with his son versus, just paying him money. What they don't know is that his son actively went out to his father's enemies, the people who tried to kill him, and took pictures with them and posted it on social media. You know what I'm saying? So that was a situation. He carries his mother's scorn like super. Like he's carrying her shit. She's bitter. He's bitter. And you get to a point where 50 Cent is like, well, I can't turn this dude around. He thinks what he thinks about me, and then that's pretty much the situation. So now we get conversations about women feeling sorry for a 26-year-old, right, that has no job, that is asking for child support money. Women are literally, a lot of modern women are literally creating this cycle of trying to nurse a dude. And the same thing with 50 Cent. 50 Cent was fucked up when he got shot too, and then he was nursed back to health by his baby's mom. Luckily it worked out for him and whatever the case is. But essentially, what was going on with 50 Cent and just people that's kind of analyzing this story, they feel sorry for the kid. And for some reason, they keep calling him a kid, even though he's a full-ass adult. He's 26 years old. And he really should have a job in conjunction with he really shouldn't even be paid the $6,700 anyway. I got into an argument with a girl, and she couldn't see the bigger picture as to what was going on. I said, with the same mouth, you will sit there and say a guy is a deadbeat, a guy is weak, he's dusty, he has no job, and all of a sudden this 26-year-old, because you don't like 50 Cent, you're advocating for his father to pay more money when this kid could literally move out of the rich ass area that he's in and go into something more affordable somewhere in Delaware and live the rest of his fucking life doing that. We don't know what the situation is, and this is one of the problems with women nowadays. Is they jump the gun with these emotional hit pieces. It's essentially what's going on. But regardless, so take all that away, and you look at how women will go after guys that are deadbeat and have the signs there, because they're intrinsically nurturers, which is it's a shame. It's really a shame that that's going on, but it is what it is. And it's this social media that kind of makes a lot of people into a hive mind state, where you get one little piece of information, right? You get one little news piece or whatever, and everyone follows suit. And specifically, so a lot of social media is run by women. The Instagrams, the Facebooks, or Meta, or whatever the hell you want to call it, is run by women. Are literally keeping that show going. But going back to my original topic, so we can wrap this shit up, is that I think men need to really focus on themselves. You guys need to focus on yourselves. You have to focus on yourself. And keep your blinders on. If you focus on yourself, if men focus on themselves and not pay attention to the women that are so desperate to get attention by being naked and barely naked and shaking her asses, and every time you open up a social media piece, there's some chick showing her ass or twerking. If you could just put on your blinders and focus on yourself, things will go so much more smoother, and we start to correct what has happened to society. See, since women at this point in time have the power in terms of like the mind share and who's a victim and things of that nature, they're not going to give that power up. I don't think anybody would give up any kind of power. That's, unfortunately, it's supposed to be with great power comes great responsibility, but that's not what we're looking at now. What we're looking at is, I like the attention that I'm getting, and I like being a victim, and I like the power that I have. And I'm not giving that the fuck up. But since women are weak to attention, we as men gotta stop giving them attention. It's the only way to revert everything back to normal, other than sex work. But we gotta give them attention. And they'll stop giving them attention, rather. We have to. It's better for them. So they won't be so desperate out there trying to do whatever it takes to get attention. You know what I mean? And we won't be simps for women, doing whatever it takes to try to get their attention. Somebody has to break the cycle. Somebody does. Someone has to break the cycle. And I'm going to tell you right now, the people who are in power, they're not going to break the cycle. They're not going to break the cycle at all. They will refuse to break this cycle. They don't want to break the cycle. The attention that women get from social media, right, is intoxicating to them. If we're not giving them attention with likes and retweets and follows and simpy ass like fucking commentary, if we're not giving them that attention, what do you suppose a woman will do if she's not getting those things? I mean, ask yourself that question. The very thing, I told one of my friends, is one of my boys, and I said that you can't really blame them, right? And the reason why women are weak to attention is because of how they are designed. They are designed to be visual specimens. If you're designed for people to look at you, what would your mindset be if you became sentient and could think for yourself? And your purpose is to look nice. You know what I'm saying? How would your perception be if you're designed to look nice and to attract people? That's what's going to rule you. That's what's going to rule you. You're going to desperately look for validation of your purpose. The purpose being, I need to get scooped up, so I need to look as nice as possible. You can't really blame them in this particular regard, but if you snatch all of that attention away, what do you think a woman would do? Because we already know what it happens when you snatch the purpose of a man away. The purpose of a man, if you snatch his shit away, which is to provide and protect, we become the very thing that we want to protect. You snatch masculinity away from women, the thing that they desire, they become the very thing that they want to protect them. This is why we have a lot of. I asked the question earlier to one of my friends, right? And I asked her, I said, you know what the funny thing is? Why is it that these single mother households spawn the most masculine women? I always wondered this, and it's like a social experiment, if you will. You know, the overcompensation is what's happening. A woman that does not have that type of energy, masculine energy, will try to emulate it because it's lacking. The very thing, if it's a single mom and she's raising a son, the very thing that is missing within a household because she's so damn masculine is the male kid will try to emulate what's that's not present in the house, which is femininity. You get a lot of emotional, sensitive men, a lot of them. And unfortunately, that is a reality that we have to kind of deal with. You know what I mean? We have to deal with that reality. That there's a lot of people that were raised in single parent houses. We have no control over that. At least how we were created. We have no control over that. So we have to do something else. Something else has to be done. And that something else needs to break the cycle. Since women won't capitulate and give up their power that they've recently acquired, even a little bit, they don't even want to give an inch. You know what I mean? So that's why they have their foot on our necks so badly. We got to do something. We got to kill the root at its source. We got to kill the very thing that feeds the roots of these weeds. And that's attention. We have to kill the attention. If we can garner up enough willpower to fight off our weaknesses as men, which is women, then it will start to change the tides and change the balance. I believe that a woman, we don't like women that are masculine, right? If we take that away, that attention that they get and the self-affirming effects that it has, the constant attention, because when we give them attention and we reinforce bad behavior, you just strengthen that. You strengthen that. You strengthen all those synapses in the brain to act that way. If we ignore the situation, ignore the stuff that we don't want, because we don't want masculine women, that's going to lead to no other choice but to have the women soften up to be chosen. Just like we have to be masculine enough to be chosen. That's my thoughts on it, personally. Well, once again, let me know in the comments what you like about this. I would love to hear you guys. I can see here, it never fails when I'm looking at when I'm looking at the statistics and shit like that, and I see there's a lot of people that don't like touching these type of topics, and they don't like touching these type of topics because guess what? It puts them in a bad light. It can get them canceled. Or they may say something that is not a part of the norm and people will look at them. I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't think I'm offending anybody by saying that men need to be more masculine and not give a woman attention so a woman can soften up. I don't feel like that's a problem, personally. I don't feel like there was any offense in that sentiment. But let me know in the comments what you guys liked or disliked. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You're going to have to subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps in terms of, just growing, getting the word out, and being more practical and reasonable. Because I know the red P content that you guys are dealing with now or seeing, whoever is bumping into these videos, I know it's just boring. It's the same thing over and over again. Bad behavior from women, and it just basically validates and absolve us from shitty behavior. You know, we're looking at it like this, like, I told you this is the reason why I'm like that. No, you as a man need to become better. If they're not going to become better, the very women that you say that's not going to become better and that they're shitty, you need to become better. This is a you thing at this point. We already know what the game is. It's a you thing. But I'm out of here. Peace out.